Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Happy Day Getaways. And today we're going to be talking about
United States.
So, we're actually going to be broadcasting this since we're actually out and about traveling in the USA. And we'll have a video added after this so you can kind of see where we're at. Anyways, hopefully you guys start guessing now where we are. Today we're going to be talking about US and some of the best destinations that we recommend for you to visit. We're going to be talking about the foodie tips, and we're also going to be talking about the deal of the week. But before we get started, we'll introduce ourselves. I'm Jorge, and I'm the marketing director.
I'm Katie, and I'm your vacation specialist.
I'm Jay from the Foodie Corner.
All right. So, like I mentioned, today we're going to be talking about US and some of the great destinations. But before we get started, though, Katie, you want to tell them what we do at the travel agency?
Yes, we have a travel agency that specializes in different vacation packages. We do cruises, land packages that includes resorts, villas, hotel stay. We can add on airfare and excursions, and we can get you anywhere in the world. So you name a destination and we'll get you there.
Even anywhere in the country.
Yeah.
All right, we'll go ahead and get started with Florida.
Florida.
Woo!
All right, Florida is the southeastern peninsula of the United States, and it is one of the most popular tourist destinations in the United States because there's so much to do there. Everyone's heard of Disney World. Disney is always a great destination. It's great for kids and adults. It's a magical place with a lot to see. And if you're really into the action parks, there's also Universal Studios. If you like Harry Potter, there's Harry Potter World. There's a lot of different parks like that in Florida. But if you want to avoid a lot of those adventure parks, you can always go to way South Florida and see the Everglades. That is going to be your best spot to see a lot of alligators and a lot of natural wildlife, take a swamp boat tour. That's always pretty exciting. And of course, Florida, you're surrounded by a ton of beautiful beaches. You can always just head south to Miami, go to Panama City Beach. There's beaches all over in Florida. So whether you're looking for more of an adventure, magical trip, or just looking to purely relax, there is something in Florida for everyone.
Yeah. All right, next up is a perfect destination for someone that likes to party, and that is Las Vegas. Las Vegas, it is Sin City. You have the Strip, which has hotels left and right, and they have casinos. And not only that, they are beautiful. You can see right there in the picture that's Paris. You got a simulation of the Eiffel Tower. You also have New York, which has roller coasters, and you even have a pyramid in the Strip. It's called Luxor, the hotel, and it is a beautiful, beautiful place. So Vegas has a little bit of everything. You have a lot of great food places. So you have one of the Hell's Kitchen, or what's his name?
Gordon Ramsay.
Gordon Ramsay. Oh my God, he's probably cussing me out right now because I forgot his name. Anyways, Gordon Ramsay has restaurants there. There's a lot of other famous chefs that have restaurants there. There's a lot of great shows right there. Cirque du Soleil, Beatles, you name it. There's a lot of different shows, a lot of different activities. Partying obviously is a big part of it, which is why Vegas is a great bachelorette or bachelor party destination. Pool parties, resident DJs there. But Vegas is also a great destination to start other tours. So as you can see right here, you got the Hoover Dam. So you get to take an excursion from Vegas to Hoover Dam and learn all about it. But also, it is a great destination to stop or to start the trip to go to Grand Canyon or Zion. Sorry. Alright, so the Grand Canyon. The Grand Canyon, you get to go from Vegas to the south rim of the Grand Canyon and get to see the magnificent Grand Canyon. It is a beautiful sight and definitely something that I recommend everybody to put on their bucket list. Another great destination is Zion National Park, and as you can see on the bottom left, that is the Narrows. So it's one of the hikes that you can do, and eventually you get to the point where you're hiking in this narrow channel. I mean, it's a canyon, and you're just submerged in water all the way to your waist. So definitely a great destination to put on your list. We actually did this trip 2 years ago, and we were able to do all of the destinations: Vegas, Zion, Grand Canyon. It was probably one of my favorite trips ever. So definitely highly recommend it.
All right, and next up is Alaska. A lot of people like to visit Alaska during the summer months, anywhere from May to September, when the average temperatures are anywhere from 50 degrees to 70 degrees. So it's not that frigid Arctic cold that everyone thinks about when they think of Alaska. However, the best time to see the northern lights is in the winter. And don't be afraid of going to Alaska during the winter time, because some of the best winter festivals are, of course, during the winter. You can even see some sled dog racing. There's a lot to see in Alaska, whether it's in the summer or the winter. A lot of people like to see Alaska on a cruise. Alaskan cruising is a very popular type of getting to Alaska now. A lot of cruises start off in either Vancouver or Seattle and travel north to Alaska and hit some of the popular cities such as Juneau or Skagway. And it's great. Alaska cruising is definitely on my bucket list.
All right, next up is Hawaii. And if you like paradise, this is the perfect destination to go. This is located in the Pacific. It's the state that is the farthest away from the continental U.S. and it's out in the middle of the Pacific, southwest of California. And as you can see, you get beautiful beaches like the one in the picture below. Hawaii is an archipelago comprised of 19 volcanic islands. And just like it says, volcanic islands, you can actually visit the National Volcanic Park right there in Hawaii. And you can see live volcanoes as they're creating part of the island. You can even see certain areas where you can see the lava falling into the water and cooling off, right? And it's eventually forming into rock. So definitely something to experience. Aside from that, there is also the um, haiku stairs, as you can see on a picture on the right, and otherwise known as the stairway to heaven. And you can see very clearly why. It's a very narrow stairway. You're going up into the clouds, and it's kind of like you're going to heaven, right? But this is no easy task. It is 3,922 steps, and it is a challenge. Even for the fittest of fittest, this will be a challenge. I guarantee you that. So definitely something to put in your list. This one is located in Oahu Island. So make sure that you keep that in mind if you're going to Hawaii anytime soon.
All right, and next up is the famous New York City. And it's no surprise that the Big Apple, which is the largest city in the United States, has so much to see and do. Some of the highlights include the 843 acres of greenery in Central Park, the American Museum of Natural History, Rockefeller Center, and Top of the Rock Observation Deck, with a skating rink nearby, which is very popular during Christmas time. And of course, you can't leave New York without checking out the famous Statue of Liberty. Of course. And while you're there, don't forget about the amazing shows at Broadway. There's so many to see, and don't leave without getting a famous slice of New York pizza, which is my personal favorite.
All right, next up is Aspen, and Aspen is located in the state of Colorado. It is west of Colorado, depending on what time of the year you go, because depending on the time of the year, if there's snow, you're gonna have to take the long way. That's what, like 3.5 hours, something like that. If you don't take that route, if it's not snowy or ski season, then you get to take the shorter route, which is also very scenic. Both of them are very scenic, but the shorter route is definitely more scenic, and that will take you probably 2.5 hours, something like that. We did this drive about 4 years ago. We were able to visit and do the Maroon Bells hike, which, as you can see right there, picture on your top left. It is a beautiful hike. You end up with this beautiful lake overlooking the Three Bells. Aspen is also known for uh, great ski town, right? So as you can see on the bottom right and bottom left, those are the different ski areas, and definitely something to put on your list. If you're an active skier, you haven't been to Aspen, put that on your list. You can give us a shout, and we can reserve a villa with your friends in Aspen or some sort of resort. They have a lot of different hotels and whatnot. But anyways, this is a great destination to put on your list for any skier or outdoorsy person.
All right, and next up is New Orleans, which is most famous for its Mardi Gras festival every year, But you don't need to go for Mardi Gras to experience the Big Easy. Some of the best nightlife is in the French Quarter, on Bourbon Street, and the less crowded Frenchman Street. Or if you're looking to get out of the city for a bit, you can always check out a swamp tour on the bayou. And for the supernatural lovers, like me, you can always take a ghost tour of the city or even a cemetery tour.
Yeah, I'm not about that extraterrestrial, not extraterrestrial, about the supernatural life. Oh, I'm into neither. But anyways, next up is Boston, and Boston is a beautiful city. It is, one of the first cities that was founded in the U.S. when the English first came into America. So definitely a lot of history, a lot of cobblestone roads, a lot of really old buildings. But then you also get that modern taste. You get the modern buildings. A lot of the new downtown that was built actually used to be water. So a lot of the city has expanded over time, and it has taken on some areas that used to be water in the past. So if you're visiting Boston, and I love Boston because it's a special place in my heart. My sister lives there. But if you're visiting Boston, be ready to get some great seafood because it's in the northeast part, the New England area. But anyway, some of the destinations to check out while you're there, you gotta check out Fenway Park. Even if you're not a baseball fan, it's a great place to check out. Great place to have some drinks and food. Have restaurants right overlooking the park. Anyways, you can also go to Quincy Market. You can go check out the USS Constitution, and you can also do the Freedom Trail, which the Freedom Trail takes you around, and it's a great way to learn a lot about the U.S. history and the Boston history. So that's it for our destinations of the U.S. I know there's a lot of other places that we could talk about. I mean, California, you got Washington D.C., but these are some of the ones that we recommend. And if there's any other place that you like to learn more about or you're interested, shoot us a message, comment below, and we'll be glad to put out some more information about that specific destination. But for right now, let's discuss when's the best time to travel to the U.S. if you are from the outside, I guess, traveling in.
Well, it really depends on where you're going and what you're doing. If you're coming to the United States during the winter, during ski season, that's, of course, the best time to go skiing. But if you're going to Alaska and you don't want to be cold all the time, you probably want to go during the summer. So it really depends on exactly where you're going and what you plan on doing.
Yeah. And I guess who would be the perfect person for a trip to the U.S.?
Well, since the U.S. is so big and there's so much to see, really anyone. There's a lot, whether you like being outside with a lot of nature in the national parks, whether you like going to see Disney World, something a little magical, relaxing on some of the beaches, road trips. There's a lot to see. There's something for everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, we made it to the destination, and now it's time to talk about the deal of the week. And here it is.
Hi, welcome back to the Foodie Corner. So, as you know, I will begin talking about some of the most tried foods in America. Number one, hamburger. Every single American will have a different idea about where to find the best hamburgers in the country. But there's only one place recognized by the Library of Congress as being the birthplace of burgers, and this is New Haven, Connecticut.
Ooh la la.
2. Deep dish pizza. Pizza in Chicago looks and tastes different. It's cooked in a pan with deep sides that allow the medium thick dough to hold in several layers of toppings.
This is good!
3. Clam chowder. You cannot visit Boston without trying New England clam chowder. The fragrant soup is sold everywhere and it looks hideous being white and lumpy. 4. Shrimp and grits. Grits were first popularized by Native Americans who ground the corn into cornmeal, which they will then use to make porridge with. Typically found in savory versions, but they can also be made sweet. 5. Lobster rolls. Served all over New England. This classic is simply lobster meat soaked in butter and served on a hot dog roll. Also, don't forget to give it a try to Maine's lobster. This is not a typical lobster. The meat is fresh, juicy, succulent, and tender. 6. Biscuits and gravy. A southern favorite. The original biscuit was brought to the country by the British. The biscuits are traditionally made with butter or lard and buttermilk. The country gravy with meat drippings and chunks of fresh pork, sausages, and black pepper. 7. Southern barbecue. From the Carolinas through Tennessee and Alabama all the way through Texas. And whether they use pork or beef, parts of the animal or whole, served with tomato-based sauce or vinegar, each region has its own preferred method of slow cooking it over fire. 8. Chicken and waffles. This dish has exploded in popularity in recent years. And I don't know you, but it's one of my favorites. Now, there's something that is not, they can be savory or sweet, and I'm talking about New York bagels. Scientific studies have been conducted trying to work out why New York bagels reign supreme over all others, leading attributes to the water. And now for the dessert people who like sweet food, apple pie. Yeah, probably the most iconic of American desserts. You don't like apples? Well, then give it a try to key lime pie. I'm sure that you already tried before. The sweet dessert is a menu staple that's slightly different everywhere you go. The crust might be flaky or graham crackers, the filling thicker, creamier, or frozen. The topping meringue, or whipped cream. But a recommendation to sample is in Florida. Now, don't leave because it's time for the top 3 fine dining restaurants. But in this case, it's gonna be 4. Number 1, Atelier Crème. As you can see, this sounds French, and yeah, it's actually what you will find in here. You will find French food, not American. But I wanted to mention it because it's one of the best restaurants, and it's ranked in the between the 50 best restaurants in the world. So this is located in San Francisco, and there are only 22 seats and 8 tables at James Beard award-winning Chef Dominique Cren's 3 Michelin star restaurant. So you should go there and enjoy the fresh food. 2. The restaurant at Mea Do Good. This is located in St. Helena in California. Enjoy the expect modern American cuisine featuring masterful techniques and deft mixes of textures and flavors. 3. Inn at Little Washington. This is one of America's most romantic restaurants. Chef O'Connell was awarded the 2019 James Beard Lifetime Achievement Award, and the Inn is the longest tenured Forbes 5-star restaurant in the world. And finally, Alinea in Chicago. The menu in the three Michelin star restaurant can sometimes sound deceptively simple and opaque. But what shows up on the plate is guaranteed to be dazzling, very good, and unlike anything that you ever tried before. So just get prepared. And that's pretty much all for today. But remember that if you're interested in any of the restaurants that I just mentioned, you can always check down in the description box.
Okay, guys. Well, we're gonna show you right after this exactly where we are. Thank you guys for joining this video. If you enjoyed this video and you like to see more future videos like this, hit the subscribe button, like the video. It'll help us grow as a channel and hopefully be able to help out other future travelers decide where to go and what to do. If you like some of different content, you want to learn about different destinations and just kind of want to browse, check out our social media, Facebook and Instagram. We post daily content with several different destinations and either new promotions or what's open now with the current pandemic situation. So stay up to date in that. We definitely have a lot of really great content and useful content for your future trips. If you don't know where you want to go, but you just kind of want to get an idea of cost and browse around, go to our website, happydaygetaways.com. It has cost information, so you can get an idea of how much your getaway potentially could cost. And once you've narrowed it down, or even if you have no idea where you want to go, give us a shout. Here's our phone number and email address, and we'll be glad to help you out, plan out your perfect getaway. As always, thank you guys for joining us. All right, so now that you guys saw where we were, thank you guys for joining us. We recorded this video, but now this is also the recorded part again. Anyways, thank you guys for joining us. Next week, please feel free to join us for Dominican Republic. All right, well, as always, happy travels.
Bye!
All right, ready? Hey guys, how's it going? All right, so we're sitting here in Friends with Benedict pop-up brunch, and we're sitting here in beautiful San Francisco. So I just want to thank you guys for joining the live video. We got Giuseppe here, the local, giving us the beautiful tour of the city, getting all the highlights.